Hello.
Can you hear me?
No.
You can't hear me?
Oh, now I can.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bold Moves on the Property Sisters Network.
What's up?
Are you gonna cry? Because I'm gonna cry.
I know, I'm kind of sad.
So, the reason why we're gonna cry today with you guys is because this is the last episode of season 1. So it's not the last episode forever, but it is the last episode of season 1, and there are going to be some changes coming up. So that's why we decided to just close out season 1. We had a good run. We had some good guests. It was me and Christy kind of getting our rhythm going with the whole show. And if you've been here along with us for the ride, we appreciate you
we love you so much. Sorry you had to hear so much of the
but this is so good
so
for
much
people.
Of the beginning.
Like,
I guess
go
you're
chase
right.
your dreams. Like, this is us chasing ours, and thank you so much for being here along for the ride with us. And it's it's just something that we're having fun doing and learning and doing together as sisters, as realtors. We're in this crazy industry, and we had all this talk that we would do together, which then birthed the podcast, that because we just wanted to share our banter. That was just us about our
whatever
business,
it's about,
family, our friends, and popsicle sticks, and whatever else we did on this
I know,
on this season. We didn't even
so much.
We forgot about the damn popsicle
I swear,
sticks. Like
that's so crazy.
But that's just
it's a little something to get started.
How much fun we had.
Yeah, a little bit of razzle dazzle.
Yeah,
but we love that, and I think
so
that's been
fun.
Yeah, it has been really fun, and I think just us getting comfortable, having this experience, bringing on our guests, doing all these random shows half the time, and like whatever it is that we're feeling and doing and going through. I think in the beginning we just wanted you guys to kind of get to know us a little bit, just to really see who we are and what we are kind of going to have as the show kind of goes on. And we're trying to figure that out too.
I think we dialed it in though.
We did.
This is the cool part about doing something before you're a pro, right? Because the professional was once a beginner. I don't know how that saying goes, but
sounds good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to be fully good at something until you've actually started it and learned through the process of how to sharpen that skill. And I would say that this is definitely a skill. And anybody that has a podcast, it sounds like they're just having a conversation, but let me tell you something. It is not like just
a lot more going on.
You have to make sure you have flow going, and it's 2 of us. We got to make sure like we're balanced. And then when we have guests on, we have to make sure that they're good and and
make sure all your equipment, all your stuff, everything is
don't even get me started
in order.
With the equipment.
It works. Your sound, your camera.
Guys, it's a lot of work, and but it's so much fun, and we're not getting paid for this.
No,
it's like
just a hobby.
This is just fun for us to, to expand ourselves and our reach, and to bring on just some really amazing people that we know and have come into contact with over the years, whether they were childhood friends, people that we met through EXP or just through being in real estate. And everybody's got a story, and we're just so excited to bring you more of that in season 2. We've got a hell of a lineup to start us off. I can't say anything, and
no
man,
tea.
I'm just fired up.
No tea right now.
I'm so excited to bring those people on and to share them with the world. But it's just a fun thing that we've built.
Yeah.
And I was emotional on the way here for other reasons, but there's just something about worship music that gets me in my feelings because I'm just so grateful. It makes me feel so grateful to God for the opportunities that he's brought us. Like, I'm going to start crying in our path, and just the people that we've come across. And, we're able to do this because Jimmy, has this whole podcast set up for him. And and just
encouraged us like every step of the way, even though the day before I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, there's no chance in hell I'm doing this. And they're like, yeah, you are though. And it's going to be fine. You're going to be great. And you're going to enjoy it one day. I don't know when, but I think I'm going to say that I do definitely enjoy it. Like, this has been fun. Raquel's having a moment. It's okay. It's really been
you guys.
It's been a hell of a weekend,
but
and it's Saturday.
No idea, like how like the struggle of like putting on a show, like to come here, set up shop, get everything ready and have something to talk about and want to give you guys something of value, make sure that you guys like what we're saying. And somehow we have over 50 subscribers on. I don't even know who you are, but I love you and I thank you
Yeah,
from the bottom of my heart for
we really
listening
do.
and just like being there and commenting and supporting your friends that have been on the show and things like that.
That's
That's
really
the
what it's all
heart of
about.
it, you know,
Yeah,
and I just feel like this was what we wanted to do when we started the podcast. And originally it was just me and her for a long time before we could figure out, who we wanted the guests to be and, what we were trying to say
right.
and what we were trying to put out there.
What direction we were even going
And we're
in, and
still like figuring that out or not figuring it out, but like ironing it. Like we know
yes,
what it is, but we want it more like, okay, this is the, course that we're taking. And shout out to Austin Chevron for helping us,
once again,
come to, terms with, okay, what is the purpose of the show and who are you trying to reach? And
what do you
with
want to bring out from
yeah,
these people? What's long term, like what's coming out of it? What are you getting out of it? Basically, like just to bring it full circle and to understand and do it with a purpose. And I
yeah,
think at first, doing it and building the muscle of just getting the consistency and,
yeah,
building,
getting used to it.
yeah, like just doing the whole
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Like
It's not
it
easy.
starts, yeah, you have to start somewhere. So I think like once if you are thinking about it, just start. I would say is your first step.
Yeah.
Figure things out as you go
Yeah.
and you learn to understand like what works, what doesn't work, what you liked, what direction you want to take things. Um, and just kind of keep it keep it going, like
Yeah.
down that
Stay
whatever
consistent.
path. Yeah,
You
just as
have to
long as you're
have
consistent
you
with
have
it.
to have your why behind what you're doing. I mean, me and Chrissy, I think collectively, we have our own reasons why we do things, but I think the umbrella that it falls under is for a better life.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, 100%, you're right.
And, for a better life, but that means so much to me. It's not just, a financial thing. It's a mental thing and
Right.
I want to, make my mark in the world, whether not as some like, big deal like I'm on, the news or something, in someone else's life.
Yeah,
Like if
it's the
I
impact.
yeah, like if I have somebody on the show and they say something that resonates with somebody else and that's my show and I just help make a difference in somebody else's life, there's been times in my own life where I'm like, I wish I could have found something or another that just helped me take that next step on that ladder.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Whether it was for my mental or my personal life or my something in my family or something with work, or maybe I just needed a confidence boost that day
Yeah.
or some kind of like energy boost, and I feel like that's what Christy and I have been trying to do with this show. And it's not like we just want to give you something generic. We want to give you a little bit of everything because life is
Yeah.
everything. You
Yeah,
have all of those aspects of life,
for sure.
and we want to make sure that we're touching on each thing, whether, you're having a good day or you're having a bad day or, something great just happened in your life and you need, you need just like I don't
A
know,
little
like
pick me up.
yeah, just like anything.
Yeah,
So, and that's just I'm just so happy we started.
me
I'm
too.
so happy that we did this. And anything for anybody else that like wants to do something, I think my best advice to you would be use your resources and connect like with the people that who are already doing it.
Mhm.
And just fly with it. Like, we're so blessed that we have Jimmy Nelson in our lives, that he already has a podcast and all this stuff that we were able to just jump in and use because he was so kind to allow us to do that. And thank God I know a thing or two about technology and I'm able to like, hook up the system and whatever. And then thank God we've got Christy and her marketing brain and her all this stuff that she comes up with to talk about on the show, because by the time I'm, all this shit is all put up together, my brain is fried and I'm, over here doing the editing. I'm like, Chrissy, you better come to the show with something to talk about because I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. Like all these
Yeah.
pieces are things that you need. Like if you need a hand, get somebody, because like
Play your
I'm
strengths.
stubborn
I
there
think
too.
that's a big part of what
Yeah.
you're saying right now,
Yeah.
and understand, especially if you're in a partnership, understand what your strengths and weaknesses are, understand what your partner's strengths and weaknesses are. Do the things that you enjoy doing so it doesn't feel like work. And also, like, in something like this, kind of like you were saying, it's just we have been very blessed and lucky to even just
to be able to
to
start
pick,
it.
yeah, really, truly. And I think along the way, since it was always something I was so uncomfortable with, that it was a scary thing for me. And like half of the episodes, to be completely honest with you, I haven't even gone back and listened to as much as she has during like the editing and stuff. But I think that's been something like that I was trying to overcome, just getting used to the sound of my voice when I'm using all these filler words and like, and
Love
that just
it. Love
yeah,
it.
absolutely, absolutely. And but like just be okay with that.
Yeah.
And I think
We're
the
all
more,
human.
yeah, and the more that you are just okay with like making mistakes and learning and growing and doing something that you aren't comfortable doing is just a testament to who you are. And like, even though it's out there for everyone to see and it makes me like die inside sometimes, and depending on the day, um, it's really okay and everything is fine. And you're your worst critic.
Yeah.
So just take it with a grain of salt and don't be afraid to do the next thing, or don't be afraid to do something that you want to do or that you think would be something that helps you grow as a person. And deep down it's good for you, even though you would rather do literally anything else.
Yeah.
Um, because the thing you're most scared of doing is probably the thing that's worth doing.
Yeah.
So,
All day long. You
yeah.
actually made me a little bit emotional because just watching you talk. I'm gonna cry after this all freaking day. But like if you guys
Ah,
only knew like Chrissy before the show, I mean, like I've always been like the not always been, but I over time evolved into like the person that I'm comfortable being myself and just I'll say whatever I gotta say. And if you don't like it, turn around and walk the other way.
yeah.
If I'm wrong about something, I'm open minded and I'll take feedback and things like that.
Mhm.
But just being comfortable just to like say whatever you want to say, is such a hard thing to do because to be socially accepted, I think is something that maybe as humans we like, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, we like want to please,
Yeah.
and I think that's
I
something
agree.
that is such a struggle and overcoming that. I mean, I definitely had to overcome that myself. But I think it was the show for you
Oh, yeah.
to do something like this to
Mhm.
be like, you know what, like I don't even care, like this is who I am, and if I say something or whatever, it's out there,
Right.
but guess what? You're doing something
Mhm.
and you should be proud of it,
Yeah.
and
And that's
like
something I learned, honestly, because
yeah,
in person, I don't care, but it's like
yes. But putting it out there for
and
like
it's
social
staying
media
there and it's,
on the internet with her
on the internet
leotard.
with my leotard and everything else that makes me like uneasy. I think was a lot of getting used to, and I was really fighting that for like a long time. And I don't even think like there's episodes where I'm like, did I even talk? Like, what did I even say? Or like
Yeah.
besides, and I would laugh about it. But
Yeah.
then it was like next time I was a
More
little more
aware.
aware, a little more comfortable, a little more whatever. And they got better. I think, I hope for everybody's sake.
I will say
but
you definitely got better.
but yeah, I think that's a big deal. And I think a lot of people, I hope a lot of people, I'm not alone in that, do feel that.
You
And
are definitely not alone in
yeah.
that. I even still till now, I mean, because I watch other speakers, right? Because this is something that now I don't know if we talked about it on the show already, but like me and Christy were invited to speak on a panel of like other freaking awesome women for
Yeah.
International Women's Day not too long ago. And like we just like had a moment where we looked at each other, we're like, what are we doing? Like speaking on this panel? Like what are we even saying? How do we
How do
get
we even get
here?
invited here? Like, what's
How are we
going on?
invited? Like, but like who are we? And then we kind of had to take a step back and we're like, well, hold on a second. Like, look at all that we're doing. Look at all that we've overcome. Like, we still have our daily jobs where we're realtors, we do all the things, we buy and sell houses, we, help our clients, and then we also have our personal life. We're sisters, and we have another sister who has a family, beautiful nieces that we have, and my brother-in-law is awesome. We have our parents who are awesome, and they just all are
Just
so
the
supportive.
best.
And we've got all this stuff going on, and we started a podcast, and we're always at events and trainings and mixing and mingling with all these different people because we're just trying to like we love connecting with people that are I don't want to sound selfish and say that pour into us, but that pour into us. And I feel like now that we've done so much of that, we are able to do a podcast to meet new people and pour into them, to pour into
Mhm.
you. So it just kind of makes it full circle. And I
Yeah.
and I think that's just been such a key factor in in this whole thing. I don't even know where I was going with that, but
I mean, just to kind of step in a little bit with like all the trainings and events and where you were going with that, I think it's because all of those people have poured into us from day one. And I
yeah.
think we stay going to the same events and different things going on like in our little circle because it's like these are people who have, been with us since day one, pre-podcast, like newly licensed for me, like just a completely different person. Honestly, I feel like in the last
Yeah.
few years, I think we both have evolved so much.
Yeah.
And just getting to this point now, it's like you said, like, why wouldn't we like it's oozing out of us at this point to want to
Mhm.
like
Give
give
back.
back and even give like if maybe not wisdom or whatever you however you feel about it, advice
We're wise.
or
We're
just
wise.
or just,
Like, you
you know,
know, good
I
things
honestly
in the
lost my train
stuff.
of thought. Where was I going with that?
I don't know. But
Um,
are you,
mm,
are you gonna find
forget
your
it.
thought?
Forget
You're
it.
gonna
It's
find your
done.
thought?
I'm gonna drink. Go.
All right. So here's what I want to do though. I just had a light bulb
Mm,
go off in my brain.
thank
We've
God one of
had
us did.
we we've had some fun episodes and we've had some really fun guests. And I hope that whoever is listening, show yourselves for the love of
Yeah,
God.
can you
So I
please
have
like
somebody to thank here
send
for
us an
this.
email
It's a
or
little
like
blurry.
DM? It keeps doing that. I didn't want to be like weird about it. We have like the TV. I don't even know if we're where we're looking at this point. I
At
don't.
the TV.
Okay. Um, but yeah, sorry if it gets a little glitchy.
Here's what
But
I
definitely we want to know who you are or
here.
connect with you or
Please
really
just say hello
anything.
because I don't know who you are, and
Yeah.
I would love to
But
know who
there's
you
like
are.
50 people on here. And if you know what actually I would love to know is if there was a show or anything, a person that impacted you, if there was something that impacted you that we said that you took from it, if you made a connection with one of our guests, I would really, really love to know. Um, and yeah,
So
please show
please
yourself. Please
reach
let
out
us
to
know.
us and tell us who that is, what they did and said that had an impact. Sorry, I'm looking all crazy because I'm trying to fix this camera here, trying to make it like
Is it
readjust
doing that
somehow.
on there? Because if
Uh,
not, maybe this is just like an us problem, which would be hilarious, honestly.
maybe it is. Maybe I'm the glitch. I don't know. But here's what I want to do. Whatever. It'll be
Gotta love
blurry.
it.
This is the last episode. You know, maybe we'll have
Yeah.
different
Let's
stuff
go out with a
on
bang.
the season 2. You guys, we just love you so much. But I want to do a little something different and talk about us.
Oh, God.
What are we? I'm just kidding.
She literally just sent my anxiety through the roof, you guys.
So no. So our show is called Bold Moves.
Yeah.
We ask our guests, what's the boldest move you've ever made?
Hmm.
And I don't think people know what our boldest move we've ever made is.
Interesting. Okay.
So
Like
let's
personally or as like
yeah.
a sister
No,
team?
as your personal. So for you, I'm gonna ask you first. What's the boldest move you've ever made, Chris?
Interesting. Gosh. I feel like we kind of had this question in our popsicle sticks, but I feel like it was for me. Sorry, I'm still getting over this like sinus thing. For me, it was um really just getting my license and not just getting my license, but sticking with everything that came along with it. The whole process of the whole buy sell process, the actual job itself. But doing the things that constantly made me uneasy and uncomfortable and to like really just brought me out of my shell.
Yeah.
I think
You had a series of events of bold
it was
moves.
really a series of events that I kept putting myself in uncomfortable situations because I knew I wanted to change as a person. I just didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know where I was going to get that from. And I just knew that there were a lot of people that I was now surrounded with that I really, really liked, very much respected, and really looked up to. And you are one of those people. I just want you to know that.
More tears.
Um, because I got to see firsthand like your first year with EXP
Mhm.
and like people like Kurt Shewell, who, was a big impact for you
Yeah.
and really changed the trajectory of how you did things. And it made me understand like there's just other people out there who have this different mindset. And I wanted a taste of that. But
Mhm.
I didn't want to, I was scared of it though. And
Yeah.
I didn't know how to get it. And I was like, I don't even know what that is, like what it meant to me,
Yeah.
like what it looked like for me.
Yeah.
And I think once I got in, I was able to make those decisions for myself to see like who I really resonated with. Because to be in all honesty, Kurt scares me sometimes. And I love you so much. And if you hear this, like you are just the
Ah!
best. I love you to death. But there's just like some different personality traits that like make me a little uneasy and shaky, and I was
Yeah.
still so new to everything and not as comfortable in my own skin at that point to just be comfortable and
Yeah.
and like let go a little bit to
Yeah.
to understand and embrace it. Um, but the more I kept doing all these things, I feel like it just changed me little by little where I didn't even realize it. I just started doing different things and changing like
Who you are.
who yeah. And
You grew.
yeah, it was just a really long growth period for me, and I didn't even like I said, I didn't even know what that looked like, I didn't even know what I was looking for. I just knew that what I was going through and how I felt was not how I wanted to feel forever, and I knew I needed a big change,
Yeah.
and I think I wasn't even sure what real estate looked like for me. And I didn't even like, you do the job. And I think like when I had my first closing, I really understood the reward of the job at the end of the transaction.
Yeah.
But also there's so much more that comes along with it. And I was like, do I want to deal with this? Is this what I want to do? And then it really wasn't until I had that deciding factor when I was still working part time that I was like, I miss Raquel, I miss Jimmy, I miss the office, I missed everything. I
Doing
didn't
all
want
the
to be,
things.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't want to be stuck in the same place all day. And, it was just not the lifestyle. It was my backup plan. And I think I was still scared to give it like
Give it
all
up.
gas, no
Yeah.
brakes in real
Yeah.
estate. And, so I guess long story short,
Yeah.
um, I had that deciding factor and I was ready and it felt like my time for me to really dive in and embrace everything that made me uncomfortable. And I
Yeah.
think like even there was multiple trainings that I would go to. Even one time Randy Gammo took me around to a bunch of the LOs in the office and was like, give her an objection. And if you
That's
know me, my
scary.
anxiety was through the roof. I don't even know how I walked around because I was like
Noodle
just
legs.
like,
Noodle legs.
tense, so tense. And I was like, I don't even know. Oh my God, I don't even know what's going on. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to look stupid and all this stuff. But at the same time, like it took people like physically shaking this out of me
Yeah.
that I've been so blessed and fortunate to have crossed my path and really just take the time to understand and help me through the thing that I
You
didn't
were so
even know.
uncomfortable doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just all these little things got me here,
Yeah.
because I didn't even know what the next step was. I was just doing the thing
Right.
at that time.
Right.
And that's
That's a bold
I
move.
guess that's yeah,
I
whichever
would say that's a
move.
bold series of
It's a
events.
bold series of
But I
events.
think it's all needed and it's also necessary for growth
Mhm.
and every step took you to the next place that you were supposed to be.
Right.
I think that, the the bottom line there, I think, was your determination to change,
Mhm.
not knowing how to change or what was even actually
The
changing,
problem.
but
Yeah.
or what was the problem even. Well, no, you knew the problem, and you knew you didn't want to stay there,
Yeah.
and you had this other job, and you weren't really happy there, and you needed something that was going to be your full blown like
The
career,
fulfillment. Yeah,
and yeah,
exactly.
with fulfillment, and I think that you just knew that at the end of the day, you wanted more for your life, not only for you, but for the people around you, and I think you just stayed the course and
Mhm.
stayed, you did it, and then, went picked up your job and did both, and then you said, "No, I'm not doing this again. I'm gonna go back," and all of that is a bold move. All of that is the journey to get you, and not to the destination, but this is for right now, this is your destination, right? You're here
Mhm.
and now. Um, but it's totally it's relatable, and I think a lot of people don't really, you have this problem and you live in this life, and you stay there because that's
Mhm.
what's comfortable, but you decided to say, no, I'm not staying here. I'm gonna make this bold move, and i'm gonna
Yeah.
and I'm gonna do something different because that's gonna fill my cup, and it's gonna help me to fill others around me, and that's
Yeah.
what I want to do. So mad respect to you for that.
You so
Yeah,
much. I
yeah, you're
think
welcome.
change is scary, and doing things that are uncomfortable is scary,
Mhm.
or even,
Yeah,
um,
but knowing that it has
but
to get
worth it.
done
Yeah.
is, yeah, knowing that it's worth it is like, it's either you already know the answer if you don't change. So why not
Mhm.
just pull the trigger and do something else where maybe you'll have a better outcome?
So true.
Like that's my whole thing too. Is like what,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you do the thing and just maybe have a different outcome that
Right.
would be better than where you are now? You can always do the thing that you're doing right now, but you
Yes.
know,
And it was a lot of tears, a lot of sweat, tears,
yeah,
uncomfortable situations,
yeah,
conversations, a
yeah,
lot of looking in the mirror. So if there is anyone who is listening who is maybe in that boat or thinking about making a change, just go for it. Do
yeah.
it, tough it out, stick it out. Um, and yeah, and if you want to talk about it, please reach out to us because we are more than happy to help you,
Yeah.
talk you through it, and give you some support. Because I think a lot of the episodes that we've talked about, and even the more recent ones, your support system is everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people have one,
Yeah.
or maybe not a strong one. I don't know, I guess, but
If you need
if
one.
you need one, you got one.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Definitely reach out.
yeah.
But I'll
Um,
tell you what my bold move
I was gonna
is. So
ask.
I was waiting.
Sorry.
You're good. This is
Okay.
this is the fun of it, right?
What's the boldest move you've ever made?
Um, so the boldest move I've ever made. So I would say I definitely have a series of events as well, but um, I think my biggest bold. Well, now that I think about it again,
Your mic cut out.
I know it's because I spoke a little bit under my breath. Um, so there's a couple things. So here's what happened. So I wasn't doing well. I've had my real estate license since 2015, and I had worked a job while I was licensed and did all those things. And then the way I transitioned out of my job was not the smart way because I had no money, and I was I wasn't doing well like in my personal life, and I was just like I had a deal, and I thought, okay, bet I'm out the job, and
Peace.
I'm gonna do this. Yeah. But it was a huge mistake. I should have, got, well, maybe not. I should have, had more deals under my belt, or, got my rhythm going with that first before I was like, oh, one deal that wasn't even closed yet, mind you. And I was like, I'm out. But I think I just like really hated the corporate lifestyle so much and hated being like trapped in a store all day,
I
where I was
remember.
just like, oh my God, get me out of here. So bold move number one, quit my job, right? And I was 21 years old. And then I did a handful of deals per year, whatever. Like I didn't have as much responsibility back then, where I
Mhm.
was, worried about so many things. Well, then let's fast forward, and I'm not doing well in real estate, and I'm not doing well in life. And I was in a bad relationship, and I was that wasn't good for me rather, and, I just didn't really have any, like I didn't really have any support, or with
Mhm.
that and things like that, like, I had you guys and my family, of course, but as far as, like, I feel like people have some kind of like a calling or their, parents push them to go into a field or you've got to trade from this or whatever it is, that is such, a nice thing to have. And we didn't have that, you know, growing up. It wasn't just like, oh, I want to be this. And then I'm pushed
Mhm.
into that here. Like, college wasn't really like a thing where we were like, we need to go to college. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, I just kind of took a tumble, and I thank God I had you to be my backbone. So I was making no money. I was depressed. I was laying in bed all day, like that kind of thing. And I remember this. I mean, I don't know if you do. Like, she used to yell at me to like get out of bed, dude. Like, I was like, I don't want to. My dad would call me like, why don't you go get a job? And I'm like, I don't want one. Like, I don't want one. Like, I just let me be miserable, right? Um, and then finally, my dad was like, you're going to come work at the pawn shop with me and my buddy. And because we run the show here. And I was like, you want me to come work at a pawn shop on 8 Mile and Van Dyke? Shout out
Yep.
Michigan. Like, you know where that is. But like,
You know?
it's,
Like, if you know,
so
you know.
if you know, you know. So, anyways, so I end up going there. So another bold move. I get out of bed and I go to the pawn shop every day, 6 days a week, morning till we closed. I worked a full, I don't even know how many hours that is, but I was there every day except for Sunday. And it's a lot of different people. I'm behind a bulletproof glass. I had to learn how to work with people that were different, and I'm selling things like jewelry and gaming and tools. And if you've been to a pawn shop, it's just a lot of stuff all the time, and nickel and diming and here and there, and the clientele is they press you. So coming from, I had already had my real estate license, so keep that in mind, and I have sold houses and all that stuff. But negotiations, right? So you're in a pawn shop, you're constantly negotiating. The people that was the clientele, that I was pretty soft initially going in. I mean, I had a line of 3 dudes my first day, and each one of them hit on me back to back, and I was like, I'm about to die here. It's my first day, and I don't even know how to fight these people off. Like, I didn't have that thick skin. I was just like, like, don't
This
get
I don't
away,
want this.
But like eventually I was like, I could laugh it off, or I could say, get out of here with that. You know what I mean? Like, I developed this confidence and this
A
toughness
different
about
skill,
me
yeah.
that like I was able to take with me for my whole life now. That was 5 years ago. 6 actually, which is freaking wild. But like then I spent a year at this shop, and I ended up, I knew how to do everything there. Like, I literally, I was pawning people's jewelry. Like, I learned how to make sure that it was real or not. I know how to like test diamonds and make sure that that's, not fake. And learning how to deal with different kinds of people also is just like, because we had some high end, clientele and some not so high end clientele. So learning that and doing all the things and negotiating that. And I mean, I got into it with people there. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I literally like would argue with like grown men. Like, grown men, because they were mad about something of theirs that ended up getting sold. If you know how pawn shop works, it's almost like a layaway. Like, you put something on the shelf, if you don't pay on it, it's going bye bye. And so like one day, you know, things aren't there anymore because you didn't come pay on them, and then you have me to yell at. But that's, by the time I had already put a couple months in, I was the wrong person to yell at
Yeah,
because I'm
period.
I'm to dish it back. I don't care if you're 6 foot, 300 pounds or whatever it is. So anyway, so long story short, that bold move of going to the pawn shop and essentially developing a skill set there, right? Like,
Mhm.
I became so much more tough. I became such a good negotiator. I learned how to communicate with people on a different level. I learned how to stand up for myself. I learned um just so many things, like, I really credit a lot about like who I am to that job because like it really did shape me like so much better. Like I don't
It
want to
just
be like a
thickened your
pushover.
skin in
Yeah.
a from a vulnerable different time in your
Yes.
life. It
I went from like a little
brought
mouse
that out of
to like
you.
a lion, and it was in a year, and it was super quick.
Yeah.
And then so from that point on, and then I was like, okay, you know what? I have all of this. I feel better. I I've gotten out of that like mental funk.
Mhm.
I felt like a fighter. Like I was like ready to just take on the world at that
Mhm.
point. I was like,
Mhm.
nothing can stop me now.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I want to jump back into real estate full force. I don't want to do this pawn shop stuff anymore. I was making good money. I did all the things. Um, and I was like, I want to jump back into real estate and really make this my career that I can do and not have another job
Yeah.
and not lay in my bed like I have no money because I didn't sell a house.
Right.
And sorry, I just get really like worked up about
No,
this.
I love this. This is great.
So then I so I tell my dad, I said, "Hey dad, I'm starting at this other brokerage I found and my last day is January 11th." I remember it was January 11th. And I said, "Do not call me to fill in for somebody. Do not call me if you're late to work and you need me to show up. I am starting this crazy training and it's 3 weeks long and I'm not looking back. Don't ask me to do anything for this shop anymore. This shop is dead to me. I'm done." Then
He said, "Go flourish."
he said, "Go do it." But they did call me and I did not go.
It was
Um,
probably a test.
so I end up at Mark Z's and Kurt Shewell was doing the boot camp training then, and then I just sat through that for the 3 weeks, and I did my best to build my business that way. I had one listing that I had already had from my previous brokerage. I brought it over there, and they gassed me up so crazy when I went there with that one listing. I felt like you guys are shining me as your superstar. I haven't done anything yet. Like, what is happening right now? But I think they just wanted to give me that like confidence to
Yeah.
like push me and push me and push me, which they did. And then and if anybody knows Kurt, I mean, like we talk about these people all the time, but like Kurt, like he's the type that can sell snow to the Eskimo, right? Like
Yeah.
he's just that guy. So like learning from him, my gosh, like I have so many of like his like stuff in my brain, like the things that he says and stuff like that. So then they put me on game and my career takes off at Z's and then that was such a bold move in itself to go from like a job that's paying me and then I'm jumping back into real estate, which I know I have failed at before.
Mhm.
And to take that on and say, no, I'm doing this and I'm 100% committed and I'm going to learn and I'm going to do this the right way
Mhm.
and actually do it. And I did it and I did it successfully. Thank God. That was amazing. And to learn from these people, I had jumped around a couple brokerages before, but I didn't have the training and the knowledge and the people that actually like supported me, like Kurt and Mark and Jimmy and all those people that were there for me, and even a couple of the other agents that would put me on deals with them and to teach me and to do
Mhm.
because they
Mhm.
saw something in me that was like, this girl she could
Yeah.
do it. She can sell. Not only can I sell, I'm a genuine person. Not to talk
Right.
nicely about myself because that's kind of weird, but like
No,
I'm
it's
a
the
genuine
truth.
person that
You
like,
can
and
you can
even
see that though in people. You can
yeah,
see when someone is truly genuine person, takes a lot of pride in what they do, wants to do a good job, wants to help the person on the other side,
yeah,
holds themselves to a standard because they respect the agent enough that put them on that deal
right,
to do a good job and
right,
keep everything together. And
yeah,
that's a major that's a such a big trait in you
yeah.
that I love and respect so much
Well, thank
because
you.
it's very you don't see that all the time in a lot of people. It's natural to us,
Well,
but it's
that's
not always out there.
yeah.
And
I think that that's sales though. Like sales to me is being yourself to
sure.
connect with somebody and relate to somebody in a way that whatever it is that you're selling, they're going to want it on their own because it's a part of who they are. Even back when I was selling phones, I never sold a phone. I never
No.
sold a tablet.
But that's a
I might
skill.
have right.
That's your genuine
I
personality.
might have helped you to recognize your need for
Yeah.
it, and let you make the decision of whether the Google or the Apple was good for you,
Well,
but like at the end of
that's
the day, it's always the client's decision. It's
right.
never my decision to for you to purchase whatever it is that you want to purchase. And that's sales, right? It's more guidance. It's not really like, let me show you why this is so good for you because maybe I don't like this house. It's let me help you to realize if this is good
What it
for
is
you
that
or
you
not.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
but
So,
I'm telling you,
yeah,
it's
just
not as common as you think.
no, I know it isn't, but that just comes with people and however you are as a person. But yeah, but I'm so grateful to everybody that gave me the opportunity at Mark Z's and all of that, that from Z to Kurt to Jimmy to the agents to everybody that I mean, even, Marissa, I remember sitting with her one day and I'm like, "Can you help me write this text message? Because I don't even like, does this sound good?" Like, I remember I would bother them all the time, like, "Hey," and they're like, "Maybe change it to this word." And maybe and those are things that I still do till this day. And
Yeah.
like we're talking 5 years later,
Oh,
like
yeah, same.
and so that being a bold move in itself, I mean, I had a great run there and I love and respect them so much. And I'm still very good friends with some people that are even that are on the team and all that. But this brings me to my next bold move, which I personally think is probably the boldest move that I ever made. And I have to credit it to you because I ended up,
Me?
yeah, because I was on Mark's team for, gosh, I can feel my tears coming. I was on his team for 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. You came on board. Jimmy leaves. You leave. And then I just kinda looked around and I was like, "Why am I here if my family's gone?" Like, it's my sister, you guys, like, that's my heart, like, she joined with me. I'm like, if she wasn't happy there, how could I even be happy there? It wasn't really anything against the team itself, it was just kind of like, if we're gonna go do something on our own, it's literally giving me chest pain. If we're gonna go do something on our own, then, like, that's what that's gonna be. Um, and I had no money in my pocket. I think I might have had, like, $2,000 to my name, when I left. I had a plan to leave the team one day, you know,
Mhm.
but not the next week that you left. Like,
Mhm.
I was like, "What?" Um, so, like, I had a plan to leave Mark's team maybe, like, in a year or 2 after I, saved some money and, like, kinda learn the back end of things and all that, 'cause there's so much involved. I mean, you guys have no idea. Um, but it was like a day where I was like, you just kinda have that moment where you're sitting with your own thoughts and for me, the way that I look at my life is, like, I just kinda, like, try to have, like, some kind of, like, out of body, experience where I'm, like, looking at it from the outside in, and I'm like, "Is this what I want over here to my left, or is it over here to my right?" And, I think at the end of the day, I was like, "I can't do this without you. I don't wanna do it without you." And it felt like I was just kind of in the wrong spot, and if I took a leap of faith, I really had to trust God at the end of the day. I really, really had to trust God and just be like, "You know what? I know I don't have any money in my pocket right now. I know we're taking care of, like, our responsibilities and things like that, but I just feel like this is something that I have to do because I just feel like this isn't it for me anymore, and I have the skill and I know what I'm doing. I need to figure it out somehow." But like it truly felt like I jumped off a cliff and said, "God, strap some wings on me because God knows if I'm gonna sink or swim right now,
Mhm.
or float, sink, yeah, sink or swim." Um, so I dipped, and it was because of you. And they're all gonna hate you now. I'm just kidding. so
It's
um,
okay.
so I said,
Still love you guys.
yeah. So I said, "Mark, respectfully, I have a different opportunity that I think is gonna be my future, and I've got to go." And so we parted ways, and I left with you and Jimmy, and had one of the hardest years of my life, honestly.
Makes 2 of us.
It was a really, really hard year, but I had to make that bold move. I had to go through that hard year, which was more personal struggle, um, more financial struggle, families. I mean, we had so much going on, and
Mhm.
I just didn't even. I just knew. I knew God was going to be there for me. I
Yeah,
just knew God
me
was going to
too.
be there for me, and I said I have to just fully trust that He's going to provide everything that I needed. And even through the struggle, of all of the things that life threw at me, I just tried to keep my faith in knowing that. and somehow I made it out of that. It wasn't even until I would say I finally come to a point in my life where I'm like truly, truly happy with everything that I have and doing, um, and feeling good, like health wise and things like that. Because I went through like a lot, as you know, I've talked about on the show before, a lot of like different stuff that happened to me because I was so stressed out. That I got to this place mentally and physically, was able to like fill my cup only within the last, I would say, coming up on a year. Like
Mhm.
last year was the year that I was like, I am starting to get in my groove. I know that number one, I need God as my foundation of my whole life. Everything
Mhm.
that I do needs
Mhm.
to be a reflection of Him, and any decision that I make is like, I have to think like, okay, what, like, how can I make, is this right or is this wrong? Or like, pray about it. Have to pray about everything. Like it really became a huge thing in my life. And then, so after that, I was just, focusing on my health and focusing on work and focusing on being more present and absorbing all of the things that, my coaches and my family and everybody's like pouring into me, and my priest, and like taking all everything in and just stop being so hard-headed and stop wanting to do everything on my own, and allowing myself to receive help. All of these things helped along the way. Um, so that's my bold move,
That's
guys.
amazing.
That's really, I gave you my whole life, but
But but
um
it's like kinda like how you said for me, it's a series of events, but it starts with one decision.
yeah.
And I think, like, even looking back to we'll just bring it up to speed, but to when we left Dee's team, it was just a different opportunity, a different feeling, and it was like I felt like it was the right decision for me. I didn't want to pressure you to make that decision because I knew you were comfortable and had, a different had it completely different,
Mhm, mhm.
and the fact that you did make that decision, that we did end up doing this together, and then as that year went on, I feel like we learned a lot about each other, a lot about ourselves personally, and we were just trying to push towards a dream that we didn't even have, air quotes for those of you who are just listening, but we didn't even know about yet and we didn't even have yet. We just knew like something needed to change. And I
Yeah,
think as long as you have that thought and you're taking action somehow,
yeah, even if they're baby steps.
even if it's a baby step, like, because then I know after we left later that year is when we went to EXPCon,
Yeah,
is when we went to, all these different events, is
yeah,
when we made all these changes, when Property Sisters was born, even though we didn't have it out there yet, we like birthed that
yeah,
idea and
yeah.
this whole concept of our sister partnership
Mhm,
and all of these things. Like it opens your mind
mhm.
to where, like, when you're doing the thing and you're in constant I don't know the word for it, but
Practice.
you're just in the rhythm of like your day to day basically, and you don't think anything more, then that's what you're going to be doing every day,
Right,
but if you pull yourself out of that situation, it just forces you to open your mind to different possibilities and different opportunities that I don't think we would have seen otherwise
right.
or even maybe paid as much attention to.
Yeah,
And I'm a full believer that everything happens for a reason and that because we went through that hardship of like just, you know, us trying to juggle our lives, our business, and just I mean,
and get it done on
everything
our
at
own somehow.
yeah, somehow. Um was all part of why that makes this like so special for us. It's like
Yeah,
our baby that
yeah.
like, we're like we love it, we enjoy it. We want to bring
All the
all
realness.
all the realness and, like, I think we bring that to our clients now too, which
Yeah.
is something that we've done deals together before, which is one thing, but, like, I think it's a different dynamic now, and I think knowing that we can rely on each other that way and that we have this understanding of each other and wherever it is that we're going, it's tight-knit and we know we're solid, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
But if we didn't make all these bold moves, again with
yeah.
air quotes, but we wouldn't have any of this.
Yeah,
And I
wouldn't be
think,
here.
yeah, we wouldn't be here. And I think it's just a testament of like when you have, even if you don't know what that thing is, like don't be afraid to look for it.
Just move.
Don't yeah,
Just keep
take
moving.
some kind of action because
The energy
you
will
have
flow into whatever it is that you're meant to be
yes,
doing.
yes, and you really don't know where that's gonna take you,
Yeah.
and truly, I feel like we've said it 100 times, never thought we'd have our own podcast,
Mhm.
and we have guests, we have, like, a whole season wrapped up right now, we
Mhm.
have different experiences, different coaches, different I mean, just everything, the skill sets we've obtained, everything that's changed over the course of the last, like, 2 years,
Yeah.
give or take, has been insane, like,
Mhm.
totally insane, but, like, the coolest thing ever
Yeah.
through the blood, sweat, tears, and, all
Lots of
that.
fun.
It is so much fun, and
Lots of fun.
it's been the best.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, me either. Well, that's what you get for the end of season 1, you guys.
Yeah.
I hope that oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I love it.
I gotta throw some
That's
funnies in
great.
there.
That's great.
Um, but we really, really do appreciate you guys, for allowing not allowing us, but we've been very vulnerable, and we do that to hopefully make an impact in somebody's life.
Mhm.
I don't like to sit here and talk about my struggles. I don't think you do either.
No.
But I think it's necessary
Yeah.
to give you a true raw description of what we've done to get to where we are. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying that we're some, big successful, you know, what do you call it? Like pop star, like not pop star, but you know what I mean.
I'm just looking at
Um,
us, like, mic'd up like Britney Spears low key.
yeah. But like, to come to a place mentally and where you're happy in your life,
Yeah.
and you're doing things that you feel are good for you and good for your soul, and you're feeding your soul, and all of that stuff is it sounds so like cliche, and people say it all the time, like, "Oh, like, don't worry, be happy, blah, blah, blah." But like, what does that really mean to you?
Mhm.
What have you really been through to get to know that you want to get to a place that's better for you? And I just want to say that to not lose sight of the journey, because I was literally making a video of this in my car today, and I'm glad I didn't post it because I'm going to say it here. My word for this year was present, to stay living in the present,
Mhm.
and to keep reminding myself that where I am is where I'm supposed to be, because I have a sickness that I constantly think about the future, and like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Where am I going to be? Where am I going to be? But like every time I thought about that, my future is so different than whatever it is I was trying to,
Yeah.
paint in my head.
Yep.
I had zero expectation of what actually ends up happening. So you're worrying for nothing.
Mhm.
So stay locked into the journey. Enjoy your journey, because that is where you're meant to be. Everything that you're going through, everything that you're learning is shaping you just to evolve, not to a destination, because there is no destination. There really isn't. You're constantly going to evolve, you're constantly going to grow, you're going to meet people, you're going to do things, maybe you do something that you didn't expect to do.
Mhm.
And all of these things just, I think, make for a life well lived. And I think that's what we should be striving for, is a life well lived every single day, not
I
just
love that.
I'll be happy when. That shouldn't exist in your mind, because you'll never be happy until you get to where. To where. So focus on your journey,
Mm.
enjoy every day, take your wins, big or small,
Yep.
and try you're going to have bad days, you're going to cry, you're going to have moments,
You
and
don't wanna
that's
quit.
fine. And you're going to want to quit. Who knows what that is, but like, just keep the mentality of, I need to just enjoy where I am,
Yeah.
because I am meant to be here. I am meant to be now. I am
Yeah.
meant to enjoy this journey. There is no destination. All I
Right.
have is right now. And
Embrace the struggle.
things can change tomorrow.
Yep.
So you never know. But
Yeah. It's all
that's,
character building. It's all just part of the what's gonna make you into the person I think that
yeah.
you're meant to be, and to just acknowledge it and give it
Yeah.
that, space. Is that the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for?
Sure.
I
And I
don't know.
think it sounds so simple, but like, I'm 31, Chrissy's 34. It takes time sometimes grasp this information because it's like,
Mhm.
it's so easily said than practiced.
Yeah.
And life is so busy that you don't even have the time to reflect on it. And it's
Mhm.
like, I'm just so grateful that I've gotten to a point in my life where like I know what matters to me. I know what makes me happy. I know what fills my cup. I know who fills my cup.
Yeah.
I know when a new person walks into my life if they're good or bad for me and if I
Right.
want to continue to build a relationship with them or not. I'm able to do these things now because I went through things that helped me to develop different skills and things like that to make decisions, make changes and things like that. So
Mhm.
so I guess we'll leave you with that. You know, stay focused on your journey. There is no destination. Enjoy your life. Enjoy the show. We hope that
Yeah.
you enjoyed season 1 of Bold Moves. I think it's been incredible, honestly. I
Been
love
a
this.
fun ride.
I love this for us. I'm excited to see where it takes us. I feel like the
Mhm.
future's so bright. Theo Vaughn, if
Yes.
you're listening, you're my prospect.
This
I
is our
will
goal,
have
you
you on the show.
guys.
I have
Oh my god.
DM'd him. I don't even know how many
I cannot
times.
wait. I
I
hope this
will have him
happens
on
one
the show.
day, and I wanna show him all these clips.
I'm gonna clip this.
This is
I'm gonna clip this, and we're gonna put it, and I'm gonna have everybody tag him. So this will be out there. But anyways,
it's amazing.
no, this will definitely be an ongoing thing. And even if it didn't, get anywhere, I think it's brought a lot of fulfillment and happiness into my life, and I think I can say the same for you. So,
Absolutely.
um,
Absolutely.
absolutely, shout out to
Absolutely.
Dylan
Love
Johnson.
it.
Absolutely,
Love it. Love it. Love it. Like,
yeah. So, but thanks
I'm gonna
again,
put
you
that on a
guys.
t-shirt.
You should.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for being here, for listening.
Yes.
We hope that you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
Mhm.
Show yourselves at some point,
Please.
all 50 or however many of you.
Yeah. And stay tuned for season
And
2
yes,
coming out
in May.
May.
Yeah. So April will wrap.
We'll be back around at some point to give
So
you the
we're
date, launch
yeah.
date.
Well, we're probably gonna. So Easter is gonna be the end of April.
And then you're going on a
I'm going
retreat.
on a retreat, which I can't wait. I can't wait to go. I'm so excited to go on this retreat, and I will report back at some point.
For sure.
Whenever
Yeah.
we jump back in.
Yeah,
in
we'll have a
May.
little hiatus and then we'll be back in May.
It's gonna
So,
be. You guys, I'm so excited for season 2 because I feel like we have more of a handle on things now. We
yeah.
have the rhythm, we know what we're doing, and like
Yeah.
we know what people we're bringing on, and I just feel like this is just going to be straight fire. So I'm so excited for season 2. And again, I thank you all for being here with us for season 1.
Yeah.
Those are my final
Huge
thoughts.
thank you.
I'm gonna cry.
I
Do you have any final thoughts?
I feel like we
for
pretty
season
much
1?
I think you pretty much covered all of them. I think I pretty much mentioned everything that I poured out my whole soul at this point.
Yeah.
I always acknowledge the elephant in the room when I'm uncomfortable, when I'm anything, because I think
Yeah.
it's just important to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's really been a fun ride. I agree with you because I couldn't even remember what the first episode was like. And I know we didn't even air our very first episode. We didn't even have a name for the podcast.
Yeah.
It was really just us playing around. So I think to get to this point is really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to season 2. Honestly, I think it's going to be a whole other vibe because like the vibes are vibing lately.
It's all about our vibes.
I'm here for it. So
Awesome.
honestly, I'm good. I think we're solid. I think they've had enough. It's been another hour.
All
so
right. Well,
love
thank
you
you
guys.
guys.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Sorry, I'm taking over your job now.
Well, I'm just trying to tell them where to go. So this is Bold Moves on the Property Sisters Network. We will eventually make it onto all platforms such as Spotify and all that good stuff. So if you've only been listening on YouTube, we'll hopefully start season 2 and possibly upload all of season 1 onto all of the rest of the streaming platforms as well. But this is Bold Moves on the Property Sisters Network. Please reach out to us, comment, like, subscribe.
Find us on Instagram. Find us. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm going to leave. I'm done.
It's fine. On YouTube at Property Sisters Network, Bold Moves Podcast, and on Instagram, Property Sisters Network as well. And then I don't know if I said our email already, but it's propertysistersnetwork@gmail.com. If you have a bold move that you would like to share, if you'd like to be a guest on our show, you're more than welcome to email us and let us know what that is. Or if you just want to say hello, that's totally
We would
cool
love
too.
it.
We would love that. So thanks again for being here.
Thanks, guys.
I love you, sis.
Love you, sis.
This is fun.
This was cute.
Yeah. All right,
love
guys.
This.
Well, we'll see you next time.
See you later.
I'm gonna cry. Bye.
Bye.
No, it's not goodbye. It's see you
Okay, love you.
later.
Bye. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.